Coastlines are special. They are where the land meets the sea. They are teeming with life. We are drawn to their beauty. The crashing waves, sandy beaches, and vibrant ecosystems captivate us. Coastal regions are more than just picturesque landscapes. They are vital economic hubs. They support thriving communities and diverse cultures. For centuries, coastal communities have thrived on fishing, tourism, and maritime trade. These activities are deeply intertwined with the delicate balance of marine ecosystems. They sustain livelihoods and shape cultural identities. But this delicate balance is now under threat. Climate change is casting a long shadow over our coastlines. The consequences of inaction are dire. Rising sea levels threaten to engulf entire communities. Extreme weather events are becoming more frequent and intense. We must act now to protect these invaluable ecosystems and the lives that depend on them. The Earth's climate is changing at an alarming rate, primarily due to human activities that release greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. One of the most visible and alarming consequences of this change is the rising sea level. As global temperatures rise, glaciers and ice caps melt at an accelerated pace. This adds a massive amount of water into the oceans. Thermal expansion, the natural tendency of water to expand when heated, further contributes to the rising sea level. The consequences are already being felt worldwide. Low-lying island nations are facing an existential threat. Coastal cities are grappling with more frequent flooding. The rising tide is a stark reminder of the urgent need for action. The impacts of climate change are not just a distant threat. They are a present reality for countless coastal communities worldwide. In the Maldives, a low-lying island nation in the Indian Ocean, rising sea levels are threatening the very existence of the country. Saltwater intrusion is contaminating freshwater resources. Erosion is eating away at the coastline. The Carteret County in North Carolina, once known for its pristine beaches and thriving fishing industry, is now battling with the relentless forces of the Atlantic Ocean. Rising sea levels and more frequent hurricanes are eroding the coastline. Flooding is becoming a recurring nightmare for residents. These are just two examples of the devastating impacts of climate change on coastal communities. From the Arctic to the tropics, the story is the same. Rising sea levels, extreme weather events, and the displacement of communities. Section 4. A cascade of consequences: social, economic, and environmental upheaval. The impacts of climate change on coastal communities are far-reaching and interconnected. They extend beyond the immediate physical damage, triggering a cascade of social, economic, and environmental consequences. As sea levels rise, coastal communities face the possibility of displacement. This forced migration can lead to social unrest. Economically, the damage caused by extreme weather events can cripple coastal communities. The tourism industry, often a mainstay of coastal economies, is particularly vulnerable to climate change. Environmental damage is another significant concern. Coastal ecosystems, such as coral reefs and mangroves, are vital for protecting coastlines and supporting marine life. Climate change poses a significant threat to these ecosystems. The loss of these natural barriers can exacerbate the impacts of sea level rise and extreme weather events. Section 5. Turning the tide: strategies for climate change mitigation. Addressing the challenges of climate change requires a global effort. There are numerous strategies that we can employ to mitigate carbon emissions and adapt to a changing climate. One of the most crucial steps is transitioning to renewable energy sources. Solar, wind, and geothermal energy offer clean and sustainable alternatives to fossil fuels. Energy efficiency is another key aspect of reducing our carbon footprint. By using energy more efficiently in our homes, businesses, and transportation systems, we can significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Adaptation measures are also essential for coping with the inevitable impacts of climate change. This includes building seawalls to protect coastal communities from flooding and developing drought-resistant crops. Investing in research and development of new technologies will be crucial for finding innovative solutions to the climate crisis. Section 6. A call to action: our shared responsibility. The future of our planet, and particularly our coastal communities, hangs in the balance. Climate change is a global challenge that demands immediate and collective action. We must act now to reduce our carbon emissions and mitigate the impacts of this crisis. Governments, businesses, and individuals all have a role to play. Governments must implement policies that promote renewable energy. Businesses need to adopt sustainable practices. Individuals can make conscious choices to reduce their carbon footprint. Every action counts. The beauty and vitality of our coastlines inspire us to act. By working together, we can turn the tide on climate change and create a sustainable future for all. It is our shared responsibility to protect this planet for future generations.